this funk. Thoughts deep, boys steeped in the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, I late in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, cop myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and breathe and connect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So when I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress. The rain be looking like when blessings drop in. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sipping water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, here we go. Yeah. Let's do this. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, salute, welcome. Happy Friday to you. I am Urban. Appreciate you tuning in to the podcast today. Today is going to be part 4 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Yes, we're going to do part 4 today. And to be honest with y'all, we almost done with this series. We almost done it. And just like I told y'all yesterday, I just want to take my time with this so y'all can enjoy this incredible good content, because I always have content, you know what I mean? I always have stuff that I can talk about every single time because I'm always researching stuff. So how the way it's projected right now, we're gonna have part 4, which is today. Then we're gonna have part 5. Then I think part 6 will be the finale of this. All right. So yeah. So we're gonna drag out this content as long as we can ride it. That's what I'm saying. So it's all good, y'all. So appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what? Also, right. I was sitting up here watching my intro, right? I was watching my intro, and I was like, damn, this intro is really good as hell. Man. Man. Man, this intro is good as hell. Then also the new outro is good as hell too. It really is. It really is. Then I'll just I don't know. I don't know if other content creators do this, but I personally do this. I go back and watch all the videos that I do, right? Like say for example, this particular live. Immediately after this live is over, guess what I do? I get some work done and stuff, right? Probably fix me something to eat and fix me probably another cup of coffee, but in the process of doing all that, right, guess what I'm doing? I go back over and watch my live all over again. Even though I just did it. I go back and watch it all over again. The reason why I do that is I personally critique myself and see how well I'm doing. See if there's any areas that I need to improve on myself, and I just do it. Whether it's through the quality of the live, whether it's through me articulating myself better, whether it's me being more entertaining, whatever the case may be, I go back and just critique myself. And on the top of that, while I'm critiquing myself, I just look at it and I just be so happy. So happy, y'all. I'll be so happy with myself for the simple fact that I'm out here doing it. I'm out here while I'm doing what I enjoy to do, which is to do this podcast, which is to bring content. So I critique myself, I enjoy myself, and I also motivate myself as well too to keep pushing. Because throughout everything I've been through my life, I'm so used to just motivating myself. I'm so used to not having people backed up behind me, I'm so used to that. I'm so used to people not necessarily being behind me, you know what I mean? I'm used to being on my own. And which that's fine. It's nothing wrong with it. Because when that opportunity presents itself right, when the opportunity presents itself when people will come, it's gonna come. It always have and it always will be. So I'm just thankful for a lot of things, y'all. And one other thing too is this. I noticed this about myself. I noticed that I am really an influencer for real. I really am. What do you mean by that, Urban? I mean that every time when I do things for myself and I present it out here, I always notice that people are always watching. I noticed that there's some who are out here right now. They probably more articulate than I am. They probably do more things, probably better than what I do. Right. I also noticed that I'm considered, as to some a small fry. You know what I mean? But I know the potential that I have. I know that, and I know that I am an influencer. I know that without a shadow of doubt. Sometimes the smallest thing that you can do as a person will be the biggest impact on people around you. Kid you not. And I'm a living witness of that. I'm a living witness where people who respect me, they'll see certain things that I do and they'll literally replicate it for their platform. I see people who are critics and retractors. They see what I do, and guess what? They'll replicate it. See, that's the smallest seeds that you plant. If you plant that small seed and you cultivate that small seed, right? It eventually is going to grow. It's going to reap a harvest. And so I believe that my role out here as an influencer, that's what I'm doing to a lot of people. Where if it's just something as simple as me just pulling up on the panel, if it's just something as simple as me pulling up in somebody's chat, just saying what's up and leaving. If it's simple as me creating content, that little thing right there, cultivate. That little thing right there will eventually grow and then reap a one harvest. There's a affirmation that I do for myself. And it's a weird affirmation, but I'm tell y'all about it, all right? The affirmation that I do for myself is this. There's a movie that inspires me a whole lot. That movie is the Creed series, okay? Those of y'all who not familiar with the Creed series, it's a movie with Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, he being in the series, and it's pretty much a boxing movie. Those of y'all who's not familiar with it. But there's a particular part of that movie that influences me every single time. It motivates me every single time. It becomes my affirmation every single time. So before I start my day, right, I would tune into this one particular scene in that movie. This one particular scene is it's a music montage, right, of showing Adonis Creed training for a fight. That particular scene motivates me so much so where it motivates me, it pushes me, it shows me that you have to, if you want something in life, you have to fight for it. If you want something in life, not only you have to fight for it, you have to lose it all as well too. So that becomes my affirmation every single morning. That thing motivates me every single morning to come out and do what I do. Whether it's me doing this podcast, whether it's even me DJing, whether it's even me just appearing on different people panels or appearing on some people chat where people agree with me, where people beefing with me, it doesn't matter. Because I know that there's something greater in me. I know that at the end of the day, that I am an influencer for real. That I influence so many people around me. I do. I know I do. I know I do. And so it's time for me to embrace my role in that for real. Maybe right now, y'all listen to it. We're gonna get to the content, y'all. I'm just kind of delaying a little bit, waiting on people to get here. But maybe right now, those of you who are listening to me right now, and a matter of fact, those of you who are listening to me right now, you tuned in right now in this moment. This moment is for you. It is meant for you to hear this right now. The universe, or as you could say, even God, if you believe in the Holy Spirit, if you believe in Jesus, this is a moment for you right now. This moment right now is to let you know that you also are an influencer. You also have what it takes to be very successful in whatever it is that you're trying to do, wherever goals you're trying to accomplish. Whether it's been a content creator, whether it's been an influencer, whether you want chasing after jobs, whether you're trying to get a promotion, whatever it is, this moment right now is to let you know that you are qualified, you are good enough. You are. A matter of fact, it's time for you to stop living out of fear. It's time for you to stop living in the shadows. It's time for that light to shine on you. One of the biggest mistakes that I have made was that I know that I have the light in me, but I hide in the shadows. And the reason why I do that is basically part of my personality of being a Sigma male. Us Sigma males, we work best in the shadows to be unseen, but sometimes there be moments where we need to be seen. We need to have the light to be shined upon us. Right now, I'm telling you that this moment right now is your moment. It's to let that light shine, to show the world who you really are. Show the world your talents and abilities that you've been working so hard, that you've been training so hard to get to, no matter what it is. Now, once again, I don't know your goals. I don't know your aspiration. I don't know what it is you're trying to achieve at this moment. I have no idea. But what I do know is this. I do know that you're well qualified. You're good enough. Everything that has happened to you, it happens based on choice, but also it happened for a reason. It happened because it needs to build you up into the moment where you at. Everything that happened to me in my life, if I were to really break down and share to y'all my life and things that I done been through, you'll understand the reason why how the way I am right now. You truly would. But all of that, all the decisions I made, even up to the moment right now, is for a reason. It's for a purpose. And I want to let y'all know, even though that I really have been receiving like a whole lot of affirmations or anything from people all the time, but I want to let y'all know this. I want to let y'all know that y'all are good enough. I want to let y'all know that you are worthy. Whatever it is you're working for, you are worthy of it. You're qualified for it. There are going to be people right now that's going to be hating on you. It's okay because that's part of the process. It is part of the process. Let them hate on you. Let them talk about you. Let them try to critique every little thing or every little flaw. Because guess what? Every little flaw that you have, that is your strength. Don't be afraid to expose your flaws. Let them see it. Because your flaws is going to be your greatest strength. It is. But it's time for you to believe in yourself and understand that it is what it is. Show it. There's nothing wrong with that. One last thing too. We're going to start the show, y'all. The last I kind of delayed a little bit, but we're going to start the show. One last thing I want y'all to understand is this. Sometimes in life, we think that we need to do things that is linear, okay? What I mean by linear is that sometimes we believe that in order for us to be successful in life, we need to go straight every single time because we believe straight is the way. If you keep on this straight path, it's eventually going to get you the way. Is there anything wrong with that? Not really. But however, I want to give y'all a different perspective. Sometimes straight isn't necessarily good enough. Sometimes going backwards would be beneficial. Sometimes going side to side would be beneficial. Sometimes going diagonal would be beneficial. What I mean? Sometimes we land in certain situations where we have to take a step back. Sometimes we land in a situation where instead of being on the straight path, you have to take a different direction. So like right now, some of y'all driving right now to work. Some of y'all dealing with traffic at work. Instead you taking that normal path that you take, instead of sitting in that damn traffic, mad as hell because you're in that traffic. Sometimes it's okay to take a detour. Sometimes it's okay for you to not listen to that GPS system and take a detour. It is okay because at the end of the day, long as you take that detour, eventually that detour is going to put you back to where you need to go, even if it ends up taking you backwards. One thing I teach my only my children, but also my wife, is that you necessarily don't have to always rely on that GPS system. You have to rely not only on technology or the GPS system, but you have to rely on your instinct. Instinct could be transferred to the Holy Spirit. Instinct could be transferred to, intuition, wherever the case may be, wherever your religion is, that's what it is. But sometimes you have to rely on your instinct, rely on what's happening in that moment, and just do it. Now, I understand that it may be scary because it may be something you never did before, you never experienced it before, and it's okay. But I guarantee to y'all that it is meant for you to be in that path. It's meant for you to be going in that direction for real. Take it on, embrace it all. But long as you understand the assignment, long as you understand your overall end results, trust me, it is going to come, y'all. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up that I am so confident in y'all, and also so confident in myself that it's already happening, and all you're doing is walking through the process. You just living it. So I just wanted to deliver that to y'all. That message was for everyone who decided to tune into the stream, whether if you're watching it right now or if you're gonna catch a replay on it. The moment you click on this or you see the beginning of this message was for you. It is for you in this moment. So receive it, take it for how the way it is, and I guarantee that it's gonna change your life for real. But other than that, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. See you on the next episode. Now I'm playing with y'all. Because I know y'all here for the story, all right? Y'all here for the show. But appreciate y'all once again. Appreciate everyone who are tuned in to the stream right now. Speak on it. Appreciate you pulling up, sir. Appreciate you. And I also receive your Cash App as well too. Thank you so much for the Cash App. And yes, sir. Whenever I get the Cash App, I will make that little rain for you. Bam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. Thank you, sir. And also, Gary, appreciate you tuning in as well, sir, in the chat. And thank everybody else for who's going to pop up as well too, who's going to catch the live stream, or you may catch the replay of the stream, or you know what the case may be. Appreciate that, and appreciate everybody who's showing me out as well too. So let's go ahead and get into the show today. Now we're in part 4 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? All right, so let's see what Miss Risa Tisa had to say in this series. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, y'all. And like always, I'm going to give y'all my perspective about all of this, all right? So let's go.
Part 36, Who the Fuck Did I Marry? The Family Tree. Please fasten your seatbelts and put the tray tables in the upright position. Let's go. All right. The cousin, I'm not going to name her. The cousin had reached out to me on Facebook, asked me to please give her a call. So this conversation was on the phone. Yes, I was actually speaking to her. She informs me again about the whole he's up there. He's telling everyone that he walked in on me cheating on him. It was with a law enforcement officer, and that the law enforcement officer used his duty weapon to threaten him to get him out of the house. The reason why I'm particularly mentioning the fact that he said it was law enforcement is because he was trying to get a family member, like one of his cousins, to call the agency of the law enforcement officer and file a complaint, which in hopes would then start an internal affairs investigation. Yeah. So, female cousin's on the phone with me. She's telling me everything that he is telling them. She's like, look, we know he a liar. We don't fuck with him. He's been a liar since a kid, but he's also family. She said, we didn't know at all who you are. So I thought that was interesting because I was like, you didn't know who I was, but his brother knew who I was. And so, again, that's when I said to her that I was like, he's talked to his brother every day. So why wouldn't the brother tell y'all that he had gotten married? And so she said, what brother? And so I told her the brother's name. And she said, he told you that? I said, he was having the phone calls in front of me. So at this point, what the cousin said was, she was like, okay, I'm going to confirm that with him. She was like, he lives up the street, so I'm going to just confirm that with him. She was like, because I'm pretty sure that they have been beefing for a while. I was like,
all right, that's to give y'all an update. On part 35, she revealed to us that he really wasn't talking to his brothers and everybody like that, like how the way he was trying to cap. So this what she's talking about right now.
I can only tell you what I
Scorpio, salute, appreciate you.
saw, what I heard. That's all I can say. So then when she asked me about, well, how many brothers do you think he has? And I said he has 4 brothers. Again, I listed all of them. This woman was like, he has 2 brothers. She said he has the twin and he has the older brother, the one that he was on the phone with every morning, blah 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 blah. I said, twin. Who's the twin? So this is where she explained to me. She said the parents, mom and dad, had the older brother. The older brother is about 5 or 6 years older than Legion. Legion and the younger brother who lives in Nashville, they are twins. So when he kept saying the younger brother, my younger brother by 2 years, it's his older brother by 20 minutes.
So apparently Legion has a twin brother. Huh, okay.
They are twins. I have seen a picture of this brother. Yes, they do very much look alike, but I didn't know they were twins. It doesn't even matter. I didn't know they were twins. But definitely they had the same mom and dad. So she was like, no, that he's older than Legion by 20 minutes. They're twins. She said, so the parents had 3 boys. Brother in Philly, the older brother, and the twins. She was like, who the hell are these sisters that you're talking about? So I tell her, I was like, Shantae and Kim. She said, I don't know who Shantae is. She said, Kim is my daughter. Kim is not his sister. Kim is...
Wait a minute. Hold up. So Kim is her daughter? Whoa. Okie dokie. Now, in order for you to understand this, you have to go back in the series, all right? So
my daughter. And she said that's his cousin. She was like, and they haven't spoken in about 20 years. So, no, that's not his sister. He does not have any sisters. And I said, well, then what about the other 2 brothers? She was like, what other 2 brothers? I said, the brothers from his dad. She was like, you mean to tell me this man is going around telling people, I know somebody's going to quote Nicki Minaj, lying on your dead mama, but try not to. She says, you mean to tell me this man is walking around lying on his dad, saying that his dad had kids outside of his mom? And I kind of stuttered like, yeah. She was like, he does not. She said, I have no idea who those 2 men are. She said, those are not his brothers. But if y'all remember, I've met those 2. And he introduced them as, man, this is my brother John. This is my brother Matt, type thing. And so they both were like, oh, my sister, it's good to meet you. It's good to meet you. Remember that, because obviously I do eventually talk to those 2 men again. So she says to me, the family tree is mom and dad, the 3 sons. She was like, there are no sisters. She said, I don't have a clue who Shantae is. She said, Kim is my daughter, so that's just their cousin. But again, they ain't spoken 20 years. I said, okay. And then there was the grandmother. She said, yeah. She named the grandmother. She was like, yeah, she died in like 2008. I said, yeah, he told me that she died in 2020. And that, all of you were coming down for the memorial service. And she's just like, she died in 2008. I said, then there was the uncle who also died from COVID. She was like, which uncle is that? I told her the name. She said, he's been dead since 2010. I said, okay, what about the cousin nicknamed Junebug? Everybody got a cut. If you're not African American, we all know a Junebug somewhere.
There is nobody in my family genealogy named Junebug. I'm just be real about it. I'm be real about it. So yeah, that's a stereotype.
And she just was like, oh yeah, cousin Junebug. She was like, man, that's crazy what happened to him. And I was like, What do you mean what happened to him? Because I know he has talked to his cousin Junebug on the phone like a few months prior. He was like, and so she said to me, she said, yeah, he had passed away in like 2016. So this is now three people that she's naming that I recall him having either a story about or a phone call with, and she's telling me that they are all passed away. So this is when the conversation kind of changes, and she's like, you know what? She said, let me speak to the older brother, because he probably wants to talk to you. She was like, you probably should talk to him, and a lot of your answers, a lot of your questions will get answered. She was like, this dude's been lying ever since he was a kid. She was like, she said literally, we don't fuck with him. I remember her saying that verbatim. She was so adamant. She was like, and when he showed up here out the blue, talking about how his wife cheated on him with a law enforcement officer, and how the guy took his gun out and threatened him to leave the house. She was like, we knew something was up. She was like, that's why I had to find out who you were and reach out to you and find out the truth. I said, there was no other guy. There was no law enforcement officer. And she was like, yeah, because he was telling us where the dude worked and how we should go ahead and help him file a complaint so that this dude could lose his job.
Good morning, Gail. Appreciate you having a nice cup of coffee. I already had my cup of coffee, so you kind of behind a little bit, but that's all right. Enjoy your cup of coffee with cream and sugar.
I said, there is no other person. I said, I kicked him out. That was me, all by myself. No gun, just my fist. And so she said, he telling us that he had gotten married, and then she was like, apparently y'all had a baby. So she was like, so you got a kid with him? So I had to explain to her. I said, no. I said I had a miscarriage back in back in June of 2020, and I had to have surgery in July. So she was just like, girl. So she started like really being encouraging and was saying, you dodged a bullet, honey. She was like, I don't wish this. She's like, I know he my family, but I don't wish him on no woman. So we've have each other's numbers. She was like, if you need anything, please feel free to call me. She was like, I've had my own issues with him. I've had my own issues in life. But she was like, get your divorce and be done with him. Then she said, I'm going to put you in contact with the older brother. Next part is me finally talking to the older brother that he had been talking to every morning.
All right. Before we get to part 36, Gail said this. She said she chilling, lying in bed, being lazy, which there's nothing wrong with that because today is Friday. It's what you're supposed to do. If y'all believe in believe in religion, depending on your level of religion, Friday is considered as the day of the Sabbath. All right, so starting the day of the Sabbath, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be chilling and resting and relaxing. So do your thing, girl. Chill and relax. Then later on, fix you a omelet. Fix you a nice little omelet, and do you. but all right. So in part what was it, 35, right? She finally revealed to us that she was going to divorce this dude. Thank God. But the only bad part about this is that if you're going to divorce a person and let them go, I firmly believe in just letting them go. But instead of her doing this, for some strange reason, she felt like that she had to be this investigative reporter now. She feel like that she doesn't need to go on to this conquest of literally exposing this dude. Why? I don't have no idea, but I speculated on the last show is that maybe this is this dude karma. Maybe it's because throughout this dude's whole entire existence, he been doing these certain things to people and nothing haven't been coming back. And so this particular moment is this dude karma. Maybe that's what it is. Or other than that, it's just maybe it's something wrong with her, but I don't know. Had an idea. Had an idea. Gus say this did you see the video Legion S wife did? I don't know why she felt the need to say anything, but she did. Yeah, I showed that video on the last show, Gail. Yeah, I showed the video on the last show. So yeah. Scorpio says, well, she's still in love with her, but it'll probably be the reason why. And I could see that. I could see that. But yeah, let's get to part 37. Let's hear what she got to say. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up like my moderator said too. Don't be hard-headed now. Hit that thumbs up. Y'all know y'all enjoying this content.
What you were hearing is correct. He drove from Georgia to Philly, stayed in Philly for about 3-4 days, left Philly, drove back to Georgia, went to Augusta. Keep in mind, if you have lost your notes at this point, he was raised in Philly and did high school in Augusta before he went to California. So he has family in Augusta. So at this point, he's on his way to Augusta to stay with a new set of people. The reason why this is important is because what I have is a divorce settlement agreement. That divorce settlement agreement has to be signed by the two of us, where we are basically telling the court, look, this is what he's keeping, this is what I'm keeping. I need his signature. Let me repeat that. I need his signature because I wanted a very quick and painless divorce.
Now, remember yesterday when I was telling y'all about that, I was giving y'all the whole spiel about how the way divorces work legally. I had told y'all that when you do what is known as an uncontested divorce, basically what you're trying to do, you're trying to cut out the middleman. And so basically, instead of you going directly to the judge, whatever, and doing this trial and doing all this ridiculous stuff, right? You cut out that part by getting your attorneys, right, and they do what is known as a mediation. All right. Within that mediation, you discuss the terms of the divorce. So within the contract of the divorce, you said that I want to have X, Y, Z part of the contract of the divorce. She want to have X, Y, Z part of the contract of the divorce. But in order for that to be finalized, you need both signatures. I also revealed this to y'all yesterday that she had made a fatal mistake. The mistake that she made was that she ended up kicking this dude out her house. The reason why that was a mistake is because she should have had this dude sign the contract before probing this dude, before getting him kicked out. I also gave y'all suggestions of how the way she could have did it. She was saying that he wasn't feeling good. She was saying that he was ill, and she was saying that at one point in time that he was taking so much medication where he was kind of out of it, kind of doped up. I was saying that maybe that could have been a moment to where he was doped up on medication. All she had to do is get that paper right, pretend that he was signing something else. Y'all know how y'all women do. Pretend that it's something else. Pretend like he's signing off on getting more medication, whatever the case may be, and get him to sign off on that paper. Then after that, that's when she should have kicked him out. But she didn't do it that way. So now she's fixing to understand the errors of her ways right now.
Much as it could be. So by this time, this is now around June 25th. So around June 25th, he's now in Augusta. He had left the house June 17th. So between June 17th and June 24th is the trip to Philly, then leaving Philly, coming to Augusta. My aunt and my little cousin get in the car with me and I drive to Augusta with a rag on my head, some sweatpants, and a tank top because it's July, so it's hot. But we ride to Augusta. I had spoken to him. I had said, I just need you to sign this piece of paper. And he was like, I'll get to it when I get to it. No. We're going to get to it as quickly as possible. So,
and I also stated on the last stream that he was going to do that. And the reason why he was going to do that is because he was going to try to drag this thing out as long as possible. Matter of fact, just like I stated, there are some men, and sometimes women would do this too. They would drag signing that divorce document or that divorce contract all the way out until they end up finding somebody else who they end up getting a relationship with and they end up want to marry. And according to whatever state law you're part of, you have to divorce the other person to legally enter into a new contract with the new person. And that's typically what happened. So that's why I say she made that mistake.
If that means I got to drive to Augusta tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, I'm going to do that because I need that signature. I ain't tell him this. This was my attitude. Sure enough, went ahead, drove down there. I met him at the UPS store in Augusta. It's in the same Kroger shopping center. They had a notary there because I needed the papers to be notarized. So he pulls up. It's only been a week since I last saw him. It has been months since my aunt saw him. Okay? She had no idea of the condition that he was in. Again, I'm telling y'all, when I met him, when he met my family, he was like a size 3X. In just a short span of time for a week, he easily could have been in an extra large, maybe even a large, but was wearing 3X clothes. So he has told me this whole time, he didn't know I had spoken to his family. Okay? Probably need to put that in there. He did not know I had spoken to his cousin. So he was telling me that he had a place to stay. He was staying with some family members, and everything was cool. He told me he was going back to Augusta because he had a job. That's what he told me. The family member, the cousin, told me, oh no, it's not that he had a job. We kicked his ass out because he's still lying. And we don't want anything to do with him. So when I saw him get out the car, I immediately knew, you probably have not washed in 3 days. I'm not overreacting. His nails had not been cut, so his nails were a bit long. He smelled like the Chattahoochee dump on a hot summer Georgia day.
Wait, hold up, y'all. Hold up. Was she that observant of this dude? Was she noticed his nails was growing long? Who does that? Or is that something that y'all do? Like, do y'all be noticing y'all men or y'all ex-men that well, where you notice that he's not well groomed at all? Now I can understand the facial features, because that's obvious, but to literally look at this dude nails to see if his nails been well kept, y'all be looking at stuff like that. Especially if you divorcing them, do you be paying attention to stuff like that? Huh. Sure, Miss G said, hell yeah. Miss G said, hell yeah, we do. What you talking about, Irvin? No, man, no. Tell me, no. Tell me, that ain't so, man. Now, once again, I understand if you in love with that dude, right? And you see that he's been well kept, that's one thing. But she's no longer technically in love with this dude. She's trying to get away from this dude. She's trying to divorce this dude. So now she's in her, I hate the hell out of this dude. So if you hate the hell out of this dude, why are you noticing that his nails haven't been kept up and all this other stuff? Why would you even care about that at this point? Why? That's like me as a man, right? If I'm divorced, right, I couldn't care less if the woman I'm divorced to show up in a bonnet. I could care less if her one the stenches is showing. I could care less. I wouldn't give a damn at all. Like, oh well. I couldn't care if she didn't get her nails done today. I wouldn't care about none of that stuff at all. Period. I wouldn't be paying attention to that because it's irrelevant to me. So I just find that kind of strange. Once again, Scorpio, I'm telling you, Irvin, she's still in love with that dude. That's why.
He stunk. so bad.
By the way, salute, Miss G. Appreciate you tuning in.
And for a moment, I did not recognize the man that I was legally married to. I did not recognize him. He almost looked, what's the word? Emaciated. If I may be saying, I may be mispronouncing it, but the way someone looks when they have lost so much weight and it's almost like your skin and bones. He looked, obviously he looked homeless. He smelled homeless. And my heart just kind of broke. It kind of did. I'll be honest, it kind of broke. It did not break enough for me to not get that signature though. So when he walked into the UPS store, you clearly could see that some of the people were like, let me get away from him. Me, I just was like, okay, so I just need you to sign right here, and I just need you to sign right there. Okay, and then a woman named Lauren came over and notarized the papers, and then we were done because he signed the divorce agreement. He didn't even read it.
Good for him. Good for him. He did something great. He should have. I'm glad that he went on and just said, you know what? It is what it is. I'm not going to play with this woman. I'm not going to drag this thing out. I'm going to sign this thing and be done with it. Good for him.
He didn't even read it. Reason why I'm pointing that out is because he didn't read the part where what's left in the house now belongs to me.
Oh, God dang. Bro, he done fumbled the bag. But then again, what all do he have in the house that belongs to her now? I guess she was talking about he had like shoes like Jordans and stuff right in the house.
Where he took technically what he was going to take. Everything else in that home belongs to me. Remember, I told y'all he had left all his Invicta watches. He had left all his WWE championship belts, his Jordans, a lot of his clothes, his Cole Haans. He had left all that stuff. He never even read the divorce agreement. So he signed it. I signed it. Lauren notarized it. We leave the store, and I said, "Have you eaten?" And he was like, "Yeah."
What? Wait a minute. Hold up. Why are you asking him how he eating? You just got this dude to sign a divorce decree, right? He signed it without reading. And also, I do want to point this out to ladies and gentlemen. I always read the document before signing to make sure that you agree or disagree with it, especially with legal matters. All right, don't just be like whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. But why are you concerned if he ate or not? Getting weird. I'm not lying.
I ate. It's just my knee. So again, he's talking about the knee, but if you saw him, you would know there's way more to it than the knee. So I said to him, "Look, since you met me here, let me give you some money so you can get you some chicken nuggets."
What?
It's just fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
No, bro. No. She doing too much now. She doing too much. This should have ended with him signing that and getting no rise. She should have been done with. Should have been out the door. She should have been at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or wherever she going and treated herself to some chicken nuggets. Forget that dude.
Yeah, that's what I said. You can get you some chicken nuggets. So I believe I gave him like $5 or $6. Go get you some chicken. I think I Zelled it to him actually. Just go get you some food. Then because where he parked was not far. It was like, okay, I'm parked here. He's parked in front of me in the other row. So there's that aisle that you can drive down. So I walked him to the car, and I saw the condition of the inside of the car. And that's when I knew he's been living in his car. He's been living in his car. So clearly I no longer had a question of, so where's this offshore account? Where's the U.S. bank savings account? Where's the checking account? Didn't have that question anymore. Because if you had money, you wouldn't be living in your car. You would not be in the same clothes that you were in when you left my house on June 17th. And this is now June 25th. So he was like, I'm going to be all right. I'm about to start a new job. I'm going to be cool. I got a family member I can stay with. Everything's going to be okay. All right. I said, I will let you know when the divorce is granted. I said, I will send you a copy of the divorce decree. And he was like, okay. He said, well, how long you think that's going to take?
This girl is doing way, way, way too much. She walked him to his car, zelled him some money so he could get him some chicken nuggets. And on top of that, she said, pretty talking about that she'll send a copy of the divorce decree. That is not her responsibility to do that. That is the courts to do that. Furthermore, if there's something that he really wants, then he can obtain that copy of the divorce decree himself. I'm just saying.
I'm not sure. I thought I had to wait 30 days before I could file the divorce agreement settlement form, and then the judge would grant it in 30 days. So basically, this is like June 25th. I'm looking at the end of August that it would take for the divorce to be granted, assuming there were no hiccups, assuming he didn't decide he was going to pull a fast one. So I told him, I was like, I'm going to file this, and then once we get the divorce decree, I'll send you a copy. He said, okay. He got in his car. I got in my car. I drove all the way back home, and he went to wherever he went. Next part is the next series of lies that I was faced with.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Part 38. And so today we're doing part 36 through 40. All right. Now, if y'all want me to go further than that, then y'all let me know. All right.
All right. Part 38 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? I'm going to call this housekeeping and missing pieces. So, housekeeping. First and foremost, as much as I know you all have enjoyed this series, and some of you have told me how entertaining you have found it, the story will be done this weekend. So, in other words, I don't care how many parts I gotta film, it will be done this weekend. We're not going to drag it into the new week. So I just want to let everyone know that. So please be sure to tell your sisters, your mamas, your aunties, your cousins, your best friends, hey y'all, go ahead and watch all the parts, because she's saying she's wrapping it up this weekend. But I'll leave the playlist up. So
Hey, also, I went on to TikTok, man. Say, do y'all know it's on people on TikTok? They sent up her got her on stories on big screen, watching it like it's a TV show, like it's Netflix on them boards. She'd attained a lot of viewership as well too. I think she's over a million followers now. So I mean, she's benefiting from this story for real. You know, there are also reports that there could be a possibility that this whole entire story is fabricated. But besides the point, it is entertaining as hell. So I'm just saying.
don't worry. Also, let's see. I'm sorry for the people who were like, I keep talking really slow. I didn't know that I was, and they're like, you're just long-winded. I'm very detailed. So that's probably what you're feeling, is that I'm detailed and I'm trying to get everything out, again, in a responsible manner.
Let me tell her this, from one content creator to another, fuck them. I'm just saying, it's your content. If you want to go into details about your content, it is your content. Treat your content however you want to, because that is your craft. That is your art. So I thought with me, you know what I'm saying? Now, I could take constructive criticism with certain things. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the core or who I am, the core of my art or my craft that I'm doing, I don't care what people say. I'm gonna do it this way, period. So if you feel the need that you need to draw it out, be long-winded about it, whatever, be excited, be less excited about it, whatever the case may be, it is your content. Don't let people dictate and control you. All right? You do you. And that is, I guess I'm throwing this out here for other content creators as well too, who are listening to the stream. Do you. Do you. Don't let people manipulate and control how the way you should be or what you should or shouldn't present, all right? Because it's your art.
So you all have asked me if I will do a live. Yes, I will. I don't have any issue doing a live. I feel like if you're going to put the story out there, you know you're going to get questions. So if you stand on business and you stand on what you said, do the live. So yes, I will do a live, and I will let you all know when I'm gonna do a live, so it won't just be some random shit. I will actually do a live and let everyone know, so that way if you have questions, bring them. The issue with doing a live is that I need moderators. So because I just anticipate a lot of people have questions, and
Hey, speaking of which, shout out to my moderators, man. Say, like I say, I got the best moderator squads on the YouTube streets for real. I appreciate it every single time when my moderators want to pull up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a few of them or whether it be the whole squad. I appreciate it a whole lot. I really do. I really do. Shout out to them.
Just one person, and I don't want to be accused of she's ignoring my question, which means there's holes in her story. Y'all, we all know how TikTok is. So, but I will absolutely do a live. That's the housekeeping. Missing pieces. So when I said before that it's important to me that I'm responsible in how I tell this story, meaning I'm clear and I go in detail, I realized that I left out some missing parts. And it was brought to my attention by a number of you. Thank you, because I'm all for accountability. I did not go into how my ex-husband, Legion, left the condiment company and then went to Apple. I also did not go into detail on when my mom came to visit. Both of those were in the month of April. I was going to go into detail a little bit more on the Apple situation because, as you probably have figured out, of course something came out later on. But nevertheless, in terms of April of 2021, my mom came for a visit. She lived in Arkansas. She came to visit us. She came to visit us after we had that whole sexting on Facebook incident and just after we had started marital counseling. There were no fireworks during her visit. Nothing was weird. I did talk about how, my family has always been there. And if you spoke with my mom, she would tell you she didn't see anything out of the ordinary. But there was something in her spirit that just didn't sit right. She didn't talk to me about it at the time. She did not raise her concerns. She simply, when she came to visit, we welcomed her with open arms. Legion was excited to meet her. She was excited to meet him. We took my mom out to eat. It was a typical, very quiet, non-active visit. I didn't know what my mother thought until later on. So she didn't share with me during the visit, something don't seem right. She and I sat in the guest room talking. I never told her anything that was going on. Number one, because again, it goes back to that mindset of what happens in my marriage needs to stay in my marriage.
I can agree.
And I talk about how I didn't think looking back, it was not a good idea that I told my aunt what had happened. My aunt is not the type that's going to tell my mother. That in other words, if you confide in her, she keeps it between you and her. So my mom never knew that there were any issues. And so there was nothing for her to be on mama bear mode. Had she known, this would have been a very different trip, but she didn't know. So she did come to visit. Everything went fine. He and I put on a united front. Oh, we're so happy. We're so, in love. And yes, behind the scenes was a whole different story. He talked to her about how he was looking to buy a house, and how he told her how work was going, you know, how his job, you know, how his job was going, you know, bragging as usual, which I did tell my mom, look, he's going to talk about himself and money a lot. So, just change the subject. If he brings up a house, change the subject. That was my instructions to her, because I was like, I don't even want to get into the whole house situation. So other than that, uneventful. Now, once my mom left, this is still in April, everything was fine with him at the condiment company. As far as I knew, everything was fine. What ended up happening is he randomly came home one day and starts complaining about changes that are going on at the company. When he started complaining about those changes, it was things like, keep in mind, he is not VP of the company. He was VP of, I keep getting it wrong, but I think it was VP of production is what the memo says. So he was not the second in command for the company. He was upset that he was being blamed for production stats, that the production was down. He was upset that his plant manager apparently had resigned. He was upset that some of the policy changes that were coming into play that would affect his plant. These are the things that he was coming home and complaining about. Literally, he would complain. He started complaining Monday. By Friday, he said, you know what, if they continue doing this, then I just need to find another job. He was like, I think I'm gonna call my homeboy that I work with at Apple, and I'm gonna see, you know, what they have available. Yes, there were red flags going up. Of course there were. At this point, we're not even dealing with United Nations of red flags. We are dealing with the Olympics. We are dealing with the parade of all nations. Everybody got a red flag. So when he said that, I was kind of like, okay, because I had become numb to all the antics that he did. I was numb to it. So he literally said, I think I'm gonna call my homeboy and I'm gonna see what's at Apple. My response to him was, well, what about your salary? Would you take a pay cut? And he was like, no, I'm not gonna take a pay cut. Like, I wouldn't leave unless it's gonna be the same amount or more money. Y'all, the next week, last week of April, I'm at work, minding my own business. He calls me and tells me, I've decided to resign. You what? I've decided to resign. Don't worry. Don't get all crazy. I had talked to my homeboy. There is a position at Apple, and I'm on my way there now to go and meet him so that I can get some information on the position. We're married, y'all. We're married. So what I said to him was, well, will you get all this in writing? His words to me were, of course I'm gonna get it in writing. I'm not stupid. You know what? I don't even want to talk to you no more. Click. That's the end of April. So that is how I was introduced to this Apple job. Again, if you stick with this series, you will find out exactly what happened. But that's how I was introduced to the Apple job. It literally was in a span of within 2 weeks. And he resigned from the condiment company and immediately said, I'm going to move over to Apple. Just wanted to clarify that. So, we will continue on.
We will continue on. Let's get it, girl.
Part 39, who the fuck did I marry? Everything you're going to hear, probably in this part and the next part, all of this happens in the month of July 2021. Divorce has been filed. It was filed the end of June. I got his signature on the divorce settlement agreement. I thought that I had to wait 30 days before I could actually file that with the court. And so this is kind of in the limbo period because I'm still within those 30 days. So he left a book bag at the house, book bag that had all kind of paperwork in there. Inside the book bag, this is the paperwork that I found. Number one, I found a packet from the condiment company where it showed his 401k contributions. It also stated in there that he had been terminated. So he was terminated from the condiment company according to the paperwork in the packet that I saw in the book bag that he left at my house.
So he was terminated from the company, huh? Okay.
Also in the book bag were paycheck stubs from a previous job where he worked at a cemetery. The same cemetery that he took me to show me where his grandmother and grandfather were buried. So let's go ahead. I'll do this video and say this is what he told me. This is what I confirmed. He told me his grandmother and grandfather were buried there. He showed me a headstone with a family name on it. If you go back in previous parts, I talk about it. The truth is they are not buried there. He is of no relation to the people who are buried at that particular gravesite. Only reason why he knew about it is because he had worked there. Also in the book bag, it was a copy of a driver's license that he had. The address on the driver's license, now this I still don't have an answer to, but the address on the driver's license was the same address as the cemetery. Because I looked it up on Google.
What? Hold up. Oh my God. What the hell? Hold on, man.
What?
How did he manage to do that? Oh, goodness.
Also in the book bag was paperwork from another construction company job, meaning it was paycheck stubs from another construction company here in Atlanta that he had worked for. It did not have dates on it, so I don't know when he worked for the construction company. Also in the book bag paperwork was unemployment paperwork. So it looked like he had been receiving unemployment just before I met him. I met him in March. It looked like he had been receiving unemployment January and February. So once again, let's confirm. He did not work for the condiment company for 6 to 7 years. Also in there were scraps of paper from a temp agency where it was information on the job that he had been placed at. Where was that job? The condiment company. He would be a forklift /loader is what it said. So I interpret that to mean he can drive a forklift, but he would have been loading up the 18-wheelers for them to go out to their deliveries. Also in this book bag was paperwork from Clayton County courts, I believe, for a weekend, what is it called? A weekender jail. It was like a weekender jail receipt. So I had to do some research. So apparently what that means is that there is an option where if you have a job, let's say you were sentenced to 60 days in jail, but you have a full-time job. Apparently the court can say, okay, you'll go to jail on the weekends. So in other words, you have to report to the jail on Friday at 5 o'clock and you'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You will get out Sunday at 6 o'clock. Apparently that's actually a real thing. So what was in the book bag were multiple yellow receipts for...
Yeah, that's the case. Y'all didn't know that is a real thing, and that's on federal. Every state does that. Where if you do have a full-time job, you can negotiate with the judge, who has convicted you or whatever it is. Like if it's a misdemeanor, whatever case may be that requires for you to set out of jail, you actually can do that. You could pick and choose the times that you want to serve your sentence. You really can do that. Now once again, that's for dealing with civic matters, okay? That's not dealing with, something that's more federal, all right?
Different weekends that he had to report and get out of jail. Last but not least, there were some additional pictures, and then there were some, and when I say pictures, I'm talking about family photos. And then there was another additional copy of his driver's license with the Douglasville address. I looked up that address. The name associated with that address was the same name as the ex-girlfriend that he had in between the ex-wife and me. If you go back to the video where I talk about the conversation I had with the ex-wife, she tells me that the address was going to come back to the ex-girlfriend. I'm simply saying that is correct. So what she told me is true. So because of everything that I found, I decided to go down a new rabbit hole. Again, just recapping what I said in previous videos. Ex-husband was always a stickler about law enforcement. His dad was a retired police officer. I'm just telling y'all the story. His dad was a retired police officer. Mom was a retired teacher. After his dad retired, they moved to Augusta, started a church. He took me to that church in Augusta, the same day that he took me to meet his aunt who lived in Augusta. So these are now things that he actually took me to, just like he took me to the cemetery. So that's what I found in the book bag. The Weekender jail receipts. I went ahead and went online to find out exactly why did he have to go to jail for the weekend. And I'm going to end this part here. The next part has to do with his criminal history.
All right, so the final part 40, she's going to reveal to us his criminal history, and let's go from there. All right, and so this will be the final video that I will show today, unless in the chat y'all want me to continue. If you want me to continue, let me know. If not, then we'll do it later on today, because I don't want to overload y'all with all this. All right, so let's go. Part 40.
Part 40, who the fuck did I marry? So we're now at the point of July 2021. We're at the point where I've spoken to the female cousin, and she gave me the phone number for the older brother. For the purposes of this video, we're going to call him Chris. Chris was very nice. I called him. He was gracious. He was willing to answer whatever questions I had. And what he said to me was, he said, my brother has always been a liar. He's always been a liar. He said, but ask me what questions you have and I'll confirm what's real and what's not. First question I had was, when was the last time you spoke to him? Without missing a beat, Chris says, 2015, just after our mother's funeral. I explained to him about the phone calls, the fact that Legion would be on the phone for 35 minutes, laughing, talking to Chris, relaying messages from Chris to me, and relaying messages from me to Chris. Without missing a beat, Chris says he was never talking to me. And he said, now I am going to say this, maybe he was on the phone, but he was not on the phone with me. He said, because he knows that if I ever see him, I'm going to whoop his ass. And I'm laughing because obviously Legion loves to say I'm going to whoop somebody's ass. So for the people who were confused, like, wait, what does this mean about the phone calls? What this means is every single time that my ex-husband was on the phone, holding his phone like this, talking, laughing, cracking jokes. Hey, my wife said that, we can go later on this evening and all this other stuff. Every time they were doing things like that, every time he was having a phone call or conversation that he claims to be with Chris, no one is on the phone. No one's on the phone. That is what that means. So I'm on the phone with Chris. My mind is spinning. It is blowing up like a volcano. I mean, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy because what this means is that for the past 4 or 5 months, every morning that he is having a phone call with his brother Chris, I am now understanding in real time that that phone call was completely fake. So Chris tells me maybe he was talking to somebody else, but it wasn't me. He said the only family member that Legion actually talks to is the twin. And that's only because, for some reason, I guess it's their twins, he helps him out when he needs it. Legion only calls the twin when he needs money. And the twin, according to Chris, now this is the part that might blow some minds. The twin brother, the one that is older by 20 minutes, is VP of his company, is married, drives a luxury car, and lives in like a 4 or 5 bedroom house in Nashville.
Huh.
So Chris is saying to me, he was like, it sounds like he took the identity of the twin and was trying to act like that's his life.
I'm gonna discuss how this after what she done. All right.
And it's not. He was like, that nigga ain't never had no money, ain't never kept a job a long period of time, and he was like, and you're telling me that he claims he was VP of a company. And so he was like, did you ever see anything? Did you ever meet people like Chris? I respect the fact that he was asking me the same questions y'all are asking me. Did you ever meet any family members? And I told him, I said, I met your aunt. Well, what aunt is that? I told him her name. He said, that ain't our damn aunt. I don't know if y'all have ever dealt with people from Philly. So he was just loud. He was like, that ain't our aunt. He said, that is our mother's best friend. And I don't trust that hoe. I'm sorry. It's the way he said it that it makes me laugh. Anyway, he's like, I don't trust her. I don't trust her at all. She is not our aunt. She was our mother's best friend when our mother was living in Augusta. She's not our aunt. So then I explained to him about the other brothers. The brothers, remember, there were 2 half brothers from his dad. One lived in Baltimore, one lived in Augusta. Chris is on the phone saying, I don't know who them niggas are. They ain't related to us. He said, our dad never had other kids. He was like, so you mean to tell me this nigga going around telling people that our dad had kids on our mom? And I said to him, well, the way he actually put it is that the 2 brothers came before y'all. He was like, hell no. No. So then I explained to him about the sisters. He was like, who the hell is Shantae? And I was like, Shantae, again, I'm just telling you what I was told. Shantae is a sister that lives in Douglasville, married with 2 kids. He was like, no, we don't have a sister. Told him about Kim. He was like, Kim's not our sister, she's a cousin. And he said to me, and I know she ain't talked to him in forever in 2 days. He said, so everyone, the only people who are his family members is Chris and the twin. He's like, we got some cousins up here. I told him about Junebug. I told him about the uncle. I told him about the grandmother. And he's just sitting back like, oh my God. He said, he was like, I realize that every relationship my brother gets in, he gets worse. And it sounds like he is actually worse than what he was in the last relationship. And I thought he was talking about the ex-wife that I had spoken to. No, he had no idea there was another wife. Because again, he hasn't spoken to him since 2015. So he was like, the best thing I can say to you is this. He said, thank God you ain't have kids with him. He said, get your divorce and forget you ever met this man. And he was like, and I know how that sounds because he's my brother. He said, but if I didn't have to claim him, I wouldn't. And I said to him something that I should have probably said in this whole TikTok series. This is not someone that you forget. This is not a situation that, man, I don't even remember him. No. What I don't remember is the version of myself before I met him, because nothing so far has turned out to be true. The only thing that Chris was able to tell me is true is that, number one, yes, there is a brother in Philly, him. Yes, there is a brother in Nashville, the twin. Yes, both parents are deceased. That is what I was told from the beginning. those pieces of information are true. The grandmother did die in 2008. He was like, no, she didn't. She definitely didn't die in 2020. I told him how I found the obituary. And so he was like, and the uncle, he said, which uncle is he talking about? Because if you guys remember, back in one of the parts, I talk about where he said his uncle was giving him advice on why he should not open up his savings account to let me see it. He would not let me see it. And so I'm telling Chris about the uncle, and he was like, that uncle been dead for years. I told him about Junebug. He said, Junebug been dead for years. And I said, Chris, he was having conversations with Junebug on the phone in front of me. He was like, it wasn't Junebug. He said, it sounds like my brother was making up the conversations. He said, he definitely was making up the conversations with me. He said, hell no, I ain't gonna be on the phone at no 6 o'clock in the morning. So the conversation with Chris solidified that this is the actual family tree. And no, there were never any conversations with his brother every morning when I was getting ready to go to work. They had never talked. On to the next part.
All right, so we are, like I said, we're gonna do part. What part was that? I forgot what part this was. Lord, oh, part 40. We're gonna do part 41 through 45 on the next episode. But what I want to do is this: I want to present this information to y'all real quick. So y'all can understand this. All right. Let me present this to y'all. All right, so, well, what I'm presenting to y'all is this. I'm presenting to y'all the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath. All right? There are one key differences between the two, okay? And I'm going to let y'all know where Legion fits into one of these type 1 behavioral disorders. All right. Now, first of all, a psychopath lacks guilt, remorse, or empathy. A psychopath always pretending to feel emotions, but in reality, they really don't. A psychopath has the inability to form true emotional attachments. A psychopath tends to be successful, but they really not. A psychopath tends to be successful, and they will stay successful. They are part of the social economical hierarchy. Okay, a psychopath is dishonest, and a psychopath is have manipulative behavior. They can have narcissistic traits and superficial charm. Now, however, a sociopath is this: a sociopath lacks remorse, but guilt and empathy may be presented in some cases. Some emotions are felt rage, but are shallow and fleeting. May form close attachments to one or fewer individuals. Consistently, irresponsibility and repeated violations of the law. Constant lying and deception. Aggressive and reckless behavior. So let me ask y'all in the chat. Which description do you think Legion fits into this? Do you think Legion fits into the description of being a psychopath, or do you think he fits in the description of being a sociopath? What do y'all think, based on what we done learned about this story so far? What do y'all think? Put it in the chat. What y'all think? Do y'all think he fits the description of a psychopath, or do you think he fits the description of a sociopath? What do y'all think? What I think, and I'm gonna let y'all know in a few seconds. What I believe it is. And one other thing too is that I'm gonna say this: Legion is not the only one who has a mental disorder in the story. Once again, Legion, he's not the only one who has a mental disorder in the story. To be honest with you, Risa has a mental disorder as well too. she has some mental disorder as well too. But I'm gonna go into more details when we do part 41 through 45, and I'm gonna want to show y'all the characteristics of the disorder that she has. But she don't fit into the description of none of these, a psychopath or a sociopath. But it is something that she does fit into, for real. Okay. Now, once again, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the one clinician. I'm not diagnosing people or anything like that. And let me throw this out there too. Whenever you hear the term diagnosed right, what that means is that you are qualified to be able to medicate a person. That's pretty much what a diagnosis means, okay? That's what it means. It means that you're legally qualified to create a medication plan for that person. Like say for example, one you go to the hospital, you see your doctor end up writing out what is known as a prescription after when they give you when they tell you what is wrong with you. So basically, that's what it is. It's a legal term saying that this doctor has authorization to prescribe you with certain type of things or whatever, right? So whenever you hear people on YouTube talking about, oh, you don't have, since you don't have no license to do this and that, you can't give a diagnosis to people. That's true in a legal sense, but for us, you giving a critique or a perspective about a situation, absolutely you can't. Anybody can do that. So in this particular situation, I'm gonna let y'all know that Legion fits into the category of being a sociopath. All right. How do I know this? I know this by how the way Risa's telling her story. She was giving out a lot of key details. One of the biggest takeaways or the key details that she was saying was that he didn't have a really good relationship with his family. Why is this a key detail? The reason why is because when you become a sociopath, right, you have that sociopath tendency behavior. People in your family is not going to understand it at all, period. They're just going to be thinking that there's something wrong with you. They're going to be thinking something thinking that you're crazy or you're just a bad kid or whatever the case may be. That's how they're going to interpret that. So through that interpretation, it comes separation. And so the family ultimately end up separating themselves from this dude, not knowing that he has a mental disorder. And the only person that understand his mental disorder is his twin brother. Now, it is possible that one twin could develop a mental disorder and another twin would not. Or it could be vice versa, or it could be the same, where both twins end up inheriting the same type of mental disorder. But Legion, he fits exactly into this category of being a sociopath. Okay. Everything that for us, what research telling us, that's what he's doing. He's lacking remorse, but guilt and empathy may be present in cases. Some emotions, he have a fit of rage. That's why when she confronted him, he ended up getting mad at her, doing things like that, and do the shadow and fleeing type of thing. He may have formed close attachments to one or a few people. That's what he been doing in his relationships with women. Okay. Constantly irresponsibility and repeated violations of the law, as Risa was revealing, he been having run-ins with the law. Constant lying and deception, which that's what he's doing. Constant lying and deception, and this will fit into the category of him being a pathological liar, as she's stated, and that's his former wife stated as well too. And the aggressive and reckless behavior that he's been doing. The aggressive, reckless behavior, it could be acts of fits of violence, which in this situation he haven't been resembling, but aggressive and reckless behavior is also him not taking care of himself, as she was revealing. Okay, so he fit perfectly into this category of being a sociopath. All right. So that's the reason why I wanted to share that with y'all for us this story, so y'all could understand that. And also at the same time, I kind of helping folks to understand the difference between the two. And once again, this goes all the way back to where I tell y'all all the time about relationships, that it is very important that you need to vet out the person that you potentially want to be in a relationship with. Because these things, like being a sociopath, you're not going to find out that this person is a sociopath until you deep into that relationship. But however, if you ask the right triggering questions, right, that behavior is going to manifest itself, guaranteed. Because once again, it's behavior and it's mental. If you ask the right triggering questions, you're going to find out right off the bat about how the way this dude is. Just like with her situation, recent situation. Instead of her sitting up her falling in love with the charming and all the stuff that he was doing, right, she should have asked the right triggering questions. And I guarantee if she had asked the right questions, he would have reacted. And she had knew right off the bat that Leisure was a sociopath. All right? She would have known that. And she would have made a choice to either continue to pursue this relationship or not. But however, Risa also has a type of mental disorder too. But once again, I'm not going to reveal that to y'all just yet. I'm keeping y'all in suspense. All right. So we're going to do part 41 through 45. What today is Friday? I got DJ tonight, unless I DJ later on tonight. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna schedule one part 41 through 45, either one later on today, or I may do it tomorrow. Well, we'll see. All right, we'll see, depending on how my schedule is. All right. So, other than that, appreciate everyone for tuning in to this episode of this. Right, we're almost at the finish line, y'all. We got at least like 10 more episodes to go, and we'll be done with this particular saga. All right. Appreciate everyone who pull up as always, who are watching the stream. I appreciate y'all a whole lot. I always appreciate my moderators who want to pull up as well too. Thank y'all so much for the work that y'all do with this channel. Thank everyone for sharing out the stream. Everyone who's thumbs up in the stream, you're tuning in and watching while you're at work. Jamila, I see you. Thank you so much. And San Jose, I see you as well too. And everyone else who showed up as well too. Thank y'all so much for pulling up. Speak on the showed up earlier today. He dropped the cash out for me. Thank you so much for the cash out drop as well. Everyone else, Miss G, everybody else, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I will see y'all again on the next episode. I'll schedule that out for y'all. And we'll go deep into that. And I will reveal to y'all the disorder that I believe that Risa has. All right. So other than that, see y'all again on the next episode. Peace out, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day.